Okay, in this video I go over the empirical rule. And the empirical rule is something that was introduced in chapter 3. It talks about the concepts, within the concepts when we were talking about variability and standard deviations. What you need to memorize, and you do need to memorize, is that there is a relationship between a mean and a standard deviation. And the short answer is on page 112. It's that in general, and this is in general, is that a data set, 68% of the data will be within plus or minus one standard deviation. 95.44% of the population will be within plus or minus two standard deviations from the mean. And 99.73, or basically all of it, will be within plus or minus three standard deviations. Now that's if the data is normally distributed. And here's some pictures of this. When we get into chapter 7 talks about the importance of the central limit theorem. And when you take data, sample data, and you take the average, the distribution of averages is normal. So we know that when we start sampling, the distribution of those averages will be normal. That's what the central limit theorem tells us in chapter 3. So as we're moving down, again, I can easily show this. If I just put in plus or minus 1 using the norm disk formula, I can do that. If I put minus 2 and 2 with the mean of this and a standard deviation of 1, you can see 95.45. That's what this is. Or I can put minus 3 and 3. And that's all of it. That's almost everything. There's only 0.27% of the data of the area that is outside plus or minus 3 standard deviations. So there's so many decisions based on knowing that just about all the data, when we do sample data, has to be within plus or minus 3 standard deviations. And the likelihood that you would get a number outside of plus or minus 3 is very unlikely. And that's what the normal distribution as combined with the central limit theorem and the empirical rule tell us. Thanks.